Again, welcome all my earth angels who are here to join. If anybody wants to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wishlist in the description box below. And when you go to do that, if you're looking to purchase a question, you send payment and then place your question down below, and I will do your questions between the messages that come out. Really appreciate you guys being here. I absolutely love having the ability to be able to have a place to speak to you from. So, very grateful to have YouTube here. It's a great place where people can really learn a lot of information that you wouldn't be able to learn in the past. So grateful for that. Grateful to our guides as well, all the wisdom and knowledge that they bring me, the messages that they help to bring out, and the signs and synchronicities they help to place in here for you. The fact that they help lead you here when you need to hear these messages, things like that. Really grateful to have you here as well. Thank you so much for your support, whatever way you may do that, whether it be donating, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps on my other videos, hitting the super thanks button, leaving chat stickers, all that kind of stuff really helps me out. So thank you guys so much for anything that you do on this channel. And once again, I'm going to be showing these roses and how they're looking. They still look exactly like they did when they came out of the box originally. They're doing really well. If you guys want to be able to find out the information on these roses, it's Rose Forever out of New York, and the roses come from Ecuador. They cost about the same amount as most really expensive roses do. There's just a very big difference there. Most expensive roses do not last you a year, and these ones will last you a year, which is pretty phenomenal. Right now, they got a lot of sales going on because of Valentine's Day, and this weekend, they have a lot of extra sales going on. Plus, if you use my coupon code in the description box below, you can get an extra $25 off. So that is definitely awesome. I have been wanting some of these roses for so long because I checked them out last year and I thought they were absolutely phenomenal then. So when she made me the offer to talk about her roses, and I was like, yeah, I've never seen them or dealt with them, so I really don't feel comfortable talking about them. She's like, oh, we'll send you some. And I was like, okay, awesome. I can do that then. But roses have always been something that I've loved so much. Hi, Divine Type. Nice to see you. I'm so glad that you got to join us today. So let's see what we got going on for our messages today. It could definitely feel like you are playing a very strategic game at the moment. Like you've been sitting down to a nice game of chess. And you're feeling like there's some missing pieces, like there's some information missing, or there is something that you're just not seeing. One of the biggest things that you're not seeing right now is yourself and how amazing you are. It is time to really love you. Be proud of yourself, celebrate your victories, celebrate your wins, celebrate the successes that you are bringing in at this time. You are doing an amazing job. Remember to tell yourself that you are doing an amazing job. You might be worried about how little you have in a financial way, or you might be worried about or insecure about a relationship in some way, feeling like you're just not doing enough, like you aren't enough, like things aren't working out the way you want them to in some sort of way. And that could be taking away from how much love or celebration or pride that you might be taking in yourself and the accomplishments that you've had, because you have really accomplished so much at this point. Considering you're my collective, I know just how hard the last few years have been. If not at least 3 years, I would say closer to 7 years. It's been a rough ride for a lot of us the last few years, and you have been doing so fucking amazing. It's time to give yourself that credit. You have been through enough. Stop punishing yourself. You didn't deserve this. So it's time to really cut cords as well with some of the things that are causing you to feel in some way that you have failed. You have not failed. If you are still here trying every day, then you have not failed. It's when we decide to give up that we truly fail. So don't allow yourself to give up because of the pain and hardship that you may have gone through. Hi, Grow with Tori. I hope you're doing really good on your channel over there. If anybody didn't know, she has a channel as well. And she has some pretty good stuff on there. And she commented at 1111, so if you resonate with that number, you really might want to go check out her channel. It's only meant for you. This path seems crazy, but it is your path. You know what's real on this path. As unique as your path is, it's as unique as your own fingerprint is. There might be people also trying to cause you to live in a state of fear where you're feeling like anybody could take what is meant for you at any time. Nobody can take what is meant for you. Nobody can steal your destiny. Nobody can switch timelines or paths with you. This is yours and yours alone. So don't allow that fear and that division tactic to cause you to break away from everybody in your life. You're welcome, sweetheart. Clown games, an alarm clock, wake-up call. So you could definitely have been playing a lot of games with people, or people could have been playing games with you, really trying to get under your skin, or really trying to get inside your head and cause you to feel certain ways, or cause you to see things certain ways, or cause you to be afraid of a lot of things. And taking your power back is going to be extremely important for you, because in order to do the things that you are here to do, you have to feel very safe in doing those things. You have to have a lot of faith in order to walk the path that the majority of the people watching this channel are going to be walking. You can't constantly be afraid of death, or constantly be afraid of people attacking you or lashing out at you or stealing from you, because in order to be an angel on this earth, you have to be openly giving. And you also have to be open to receiving, and you have to allow the rest of the stuff to just fall away, and have faith that the places that you are called to and the people you're called to be around, some of them are going to lash out and attack you in some sort of way, but you will be protected. You will be guided. And there is a reason that these people were brought into your life, and there's a reason that you were brought into their life. A lot of times I've realized that the people whose lives I have been guided to touch in some sort of way, it's almost like the divine beings called us together so that they could see if this person was really going to take the gifts and blessings placed in front of them, a new way, a new path, a new choice in their life, if they were going to take that, or if they were going to stick with the way that they wanted to go in the first place. And if they decide to stick with that way, and lash out and attack this gift that was sent into them, then generally there is a lot of very strong towers that end up falling on those people a lot of times. But if we decided, oh, we're not going to be in this space because this person could do this, then we wouldn't be doing what we were sent here to do. And this person could be doing this, but just as often they could decide to go the good way as well. So decide to hope for it, decide to pray for it. And at the same time, just allow things to play out the way that they're going to play out. We can't really control it, and it's not our fault when anybody chooses to do certain things either. Hi, beautiful. I hope you have a beautiful day too. Thank you, sweetheart. I really appreciate that. Some of you may have a very strong connection with elements as well, especially wind. The movie that's coming to mind right now is Chocolate. It's like you could really feel very called to certain situations or certain places, certain people. And a lot of times there is a lot of negative things that end up happening. You may get attacked a lot by a lot of people because they don't like their beliefs challenged, or they don't like the way that they do things to be challenged in any kind of way. And I feel like you spend a lot of time throughout your life challenging those beliefs, taking risks, taking gambles. Listen to the signs. They are speaking to you. And there really is a very strong need to not think of things in terms of the villain and the hero. It becomes very dangerous when you start thinking of things that way. It becomes a war when you start thinking of things that way. Another war that I'm thinking of off the top of my head is the war on drugs. You're welcome, sweetheart. On both sides of that war, Everyone is so busy and focused on attacking each other. And it really just is a very pointless war. It's a very pointless war that's just going to go on forever until somebody puts a stop to it, until somebody brings peace into that situation. You definitely have a very strong winning hand at this moment. And you should definitely be proud of the decisions that you've made, the chains that you have broken, the ways that you have really freed yourself. Live life to the fullest and trust. Take those risks, take those chances, take those gambles. Don't feel like it is evil to gamble on certain things, to take chances on certain things. Don't think that it's wrong to be around certain people just because the entire world tells you it is. Your reputation is not nearly as important as your character is. And so remember that when it comes to people talking about you, or when it comes to people trying to say bad things about you or trying to make you look bad in some sort of way, your reputation is nowhere near as important as your character is. Your reputation is what the world sees you as, but your character is who you really are. And the most important people in your life are going to see who you really are. And when it comes down to the most important situations that you may be facing, those people will see who you really are too. Current actions creating a stable foundation. Remember to celebrate life and all the small victories. So it is time to really have a celebration. It may even be time to have a party of some sort to really commemorate yourself, to commemorate the goals that you've accomplished, the successes you've had, the challenges you've faced and overcome, the way that you've been able to break free of anything that has been holding you back. All of that really needs a celebration. You need a celebration. You need a party just for you, something that makes you feel good, something that you really enjoy doing, and don't feel guilty about doing something like that for yourself. This is also going to help you to push forward as well. When times get tough, taking a minute to just be like, wow, I am so proud of you. Look at how amazing you're doing. You're doing such a phenomenal job, and it doesn't matter how many things have tried to tear you down, you're still standing. Okay, so yesterday, I found a spot to plug my stuff in again. There's an empty house over here. They do walkthroughs, so I know there's power, and I found a plug-in and plugged my shit in. Well, I plugged it in last night for a little while. This morning, I get up to go plug in my stuff so that I can make sure that I have enough power for my reading today. Somebody has cut the fucking power lines to that outside power box over there. And it's been that, literally, for 3 years now. The last couple months, it's been 10 times worse. So many people fucking trying to stop me, and yet I'm still standing here. I am still here every day. I am still doing what I feel is my purpose. When you find something that you love that much, that you really put that much effort into keeping and continuing and working on, regardless of how many people are against you, you definitely know that you have found something that is in alignment with your soul path and your purpose. And it is not going to be the most easy thing to do. It really isn't. Everybody's like, oh, when everything's working out perfectly and smoothly, that's when you know you're on the right path. No. There's plenty of times when you're on the right path where everything is fucked up all the time. And it's a test of your commitment. Is this really the path you want to walk down? Is this really what you want to be doing? How bad do you want to be doing it? How much are you going to put up with before you just tuck your tail between your legs and go back home and lie down and die? How much passion do you have for this? How much is it something that what are you willing to risk for it? Shit, there's been times, if you look at some of the stories in the Bible, there's been times where people have had to literally kill their own child in order to fulfill their divine purpose. I'm not saying kill your own child, and honestly, I really don't believe in that. I really don't think that that's something that the God I believe in would have me do. Period. Kind of like the whole black magic scenario where you kill the most innocent being there is, the lamb. You kill the most innocent being there is, and then you place its blood magic, above your door to make sure that your children don't die while this curse kills everybody else's children. That sounds like black magic to me, but that's just me. That doesn't sound like godly magic or divine magic. That sounds like blood magic that is black magic, honestly. Anyway, it's okay if you hurt for them, but they need this. So there's definitely something that you're going to have to do. Thank you, beautiful. I really appreciate you guys so much. It's okay if you hurt for them, but they need this. Sometimes you have to make decisions that cause pain to other people. Sometimes you have to pull away from people. Sometimes you have to express things to people that hurt you to express, that hurt them to express. But tough love is love too. And sometimes people really need to hear those things. They really need to see those things. They really need to feel those things. So listen to your intuition, because it is definitely telling you something. Parting is sweet sorrow. Party, pair, male, more, sword, sir. But when I roll up with her, everybody calls me sir. That's a really good song. Lords of Chaos. I think there's a band called Lords of Chaos. Not really sure. If not, something else. Port. Sort. Suit. The devil wears a suit and tie. That's something that came up recently. What's really funny about that, though, you know, a lot of times they will say that the prophets of the world are the ones that are poor and living on the street and all that kind of stuff. They're the seers and the prophets of the world. And yeah, there is a lot of them out there. I will say that. There is also a lot of crazy ass motherfuckers who are evil that are living out there too. Just like when it comes to rich people. There are some pretty fucking evil rich people out there. And there's some really damn good rich people out there. There was somebody that was bitching about, J.K. Rowling the other day, and they were talking about, oh, I can't believe that she's pretty much selling everything that there is, and she's really milking this Harry Potter thing and all kinds of bullshit like that. And I really don't think that it's the best thing for my kids to be involved in anymore. And so, you know, even though I really liked it when I was younger, I really just don't think that that's a good thing anymore. And I was like, here's the thing. J.K. Rowling wrote the first Harry Potter book while she was homeless with her fucking baby. She wrote that book. When she made her money, she has donated about 75% of her money to helping, feeding, clothing homeless people in this world, as well as all kinds of other shit. She is an amazing woman who worked her ass off with no support or help to get to where she is. And she took that and she gave that to other people who didn't have that support and help. Not to mention the fact that when I came across the first Harry Potter book, that was when I was being molested when I was a kid. And I was also like the cupboard under the stairs child. At least I felt like it. I really related to that kid. And I really related to that amount of evil being present in my life that I had to face and conquer. And to give somebody hope that they can actually face that and conquer that. That somebody that everybody thinks is powerless and useless and worthless could actually step up to the plate and be somebody and make a difference and an impact in this world. Even somebody so small and powerless. Or so they thought. So there's definitely a lot of golden opportunities ahead, possibly after a lot of sadness, pain, and despair that you may have went through. Or there could have been a lot of sadness, pain, and despair that somebody you knew went through as well. There may be some golden opportunities ahead that deal with natural healing and natural medicine, and maybe coming across some new ideas or new understandings of how certain things work in that area. And there could also be golden opportunities ahead as well, where it's going to feel, you really are going to have to trust your discernment on whether or not these are good opportunities for you, on who you're partnering with and stuff like that when it comes to situations, especially business related situations. There might actually be somebody who made a very bad choice in the past as well that is going to bring some sort of golden opportunity your way to try to make up for what they've done in the past. There could definitely be some sort of proposal as well coming in for you, whether that's a marriage proposal or a proposal of uniting fronts in some sort of way, or really a very solid friendship with a very strong foundation could definitely be something that's coming your way as well. For some of you, it could even be a commitment to yourself. I have this ring right here. Ugh. If I can get a nice picture of it there. I have a ring on my ring finger there. And there have been a few people that have asked, well, if you're not married or if you're not with somebody, then how come you have that ring on? What's that ring for? That ring is my commitment to myself before anyone else. And my commitment to myself is very strong. My commitment to doing what is right for me, loving myself, caring for myself, respecting myself, that is very strong. And it's a reminder to me to be committed to myself. So it could be as well that a lot of you are making a very strong commitment towards yourself and really building that foundation within you to be something very solid and strong, breaking free from anything that holds you back, really being able to take risks on certain things that are going to bring good things into your life, and being proud of yourself for the accomplishments that you've had and celebrating those things. So, wow, the opening message went for a very long time today. So in between messages, if anybody wants to be able to donate or if anybody wants to be able to purchase questions, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. Truly appreciate anybody who does anything to support my channel in whatever way that may be, whether it's through buying or donating or liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, anybody that leaves timestamps on my other videos. I really appreciate all of that, guys. Thank you so much for that. Let's see what else our guides have to say to us today. So, la 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, this one came out yesterday when I was done, or day before yesterday when I was done with my free question session the other day. I was like, let's see which one I want to pull out of the pile that's left. This was the one that came out. An ex-lover, husband, or boyfriend. Level up, Ciara. Motivation, Normani. Motivation, Kelly Rowland. I was so hurt. I felt betrayed and left out in the cold. No matter what you did or how you were there for me, I could not see it. I didn't want to. After everything that I did to you in my projections, I didn't feel like I deserved any of it. I thought your kindness and your love for me was stupid, and you deserved better, so I pushed you away. You were the only one there for me, and I was mired in so much self-hate and was blaming everything on you. I am sorry that I let you down. I'm sorry that you believed in me. I'm sorry that I hurt you, and I'm sorry that I tried to take everything from you and ruin your good name. You deserved better. Don't waste your time on me. Reach for the sky. I know that you can accomplish anything, even if I have tried to convince you otherwise, because I was scared that you would see that you deserved better and that it was somewhere else. That would be awesome, Tori. I really do appreciate it. Now you're winning. You put in so much work and tried so hard to get them to believe in themselves as you did. But then you took that energy and you put it towards yourself, and you decided to believe in you the way that you believed in others. Tried so hard to get them to see that you wanted them, but they were very blind to it. So you could have spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort on really trying to grow and fix and nurture and love and take care of a very important relationship in your life. And everything could have fell apart anyway. And you could really have a very hard time in dealing with that, in accepting that, and being okay with the fact that everything was meant to go the way that it did. And at this point, you might be very nervous, worried, or concerned about getting into new situations. You might be having a lot of thoughts like, what if everything just falls apart like it did last time? What if this person really doesn't see my value and my worth? What if this person doesn't see their own value and worth? And it could be because you might be dealing with somebody who has some insecurities or some self-esteem issues or self-love problems. And sometimes, yes, that can manifest in very nasty ways on people around them. At the same time, if you are a healer, you're going to be working with a lot of people like that. A lot of the people that come into your life are going to be in that very boat. And if you're worried about whether or not they're going to attack you, like we were talking about at the beginning of this reading, if you're worried about whether or not they're going to attack you, if you're living in a state of fear, if you're constantly not trusting the situation, not having faith, not believing, then it tends to come out all over that person. It tends to hurt that relationship. It tends to kill things going forward. And it kills things just as fully as people doing this do. And there have been times that most of us, I'm sure, have been in a state where we have tried to shove people away from us because we are so hurt and we believe that anybody that gets near to us is going to be hurt by even that contact with us. There have been a few times over the last couple years where I felt that very way myself in a lot of ways, because there have been people that have tried to help me in some sort of way, and then all of a sudden they got everybody attacking them too. Because I've had a lot of people attacking me over the last couple years and really causing a lot of chaos and drama in my life that I really don't need. You know, I spend all my time trying to help people and trying to spread peace and love and light, being kind and caring, and to have people lashing out and attacking someone who has never harmed them in their life, you know, sometimes that can really make you feel shitty, honestly, and not necessarily like you don't deserve the help or the assistance or the care or the love from people. But in that instance, like, you don't necessarily want them to get close to you and give you that care or that love if people are going to start attacking them for being kind. Thank you so much for the tip too, Tori. I really appreciate that. Remember in those hard times to hold your faith close to you. Don't give in to fear and doubt. Know what you have been promised is the truth. Release the timing and how. Surrender with trust. It is time to go with the flow and to maintain peace at all costs. So there could definitely be somebody that you have to have in your life that is somebody that you had a very strong relationship with at some point. And for whatever reason, this person has to be in your life. You may have to work with them. You may have children together. You may have some sort of connection that you can't just completely sever. And so really trying to maintain peace is going to be something very important for you. Choosing your battles wisely. And then even when you do address something, making sure to try to keep your tone in a good space. And making sure to stay away from blaming or yelling at each other is going to be something very helpful for you. You're welcome, sweetheart. I really appreciate you so much. Thank you guys for being here as well. And whatever support you guys send this way, it's very appreciated. I saw that you paid. You're very welcome, and thank you as well. Thank you for the tip, too. I really appreciate that. Let me in. I am here to take you out. You can't stop me, or you can't stop us. We'll just keep coming. It was all a dream. Why am I dreaming that others are trying to kill me? You might be dealing with threats in your daily life, trust issues, and toxic people that you don't feel safe around. It's time to clean house and clear out anyone or anything that means you harm or makes you feel unsafe. Listen to and trust your intuition. So it could also be very important for you as well to make sure that when it comes to this person that you're dealing with, that you're not giving them more information than is necessary. It can be extremely hard to have to be around that person regularly. And this could be somebody that you have talked to for years about everything that has ever happened in your life. And being able to stem that and stop that and keep yourself from expressing those things can be extremely hard. You may also deal with people who have very strong telepathic abilities as well. And being able to keep yourself out of your mind and keep your mind from running away from itself to where you're just giving them everything could be something that could be very important too. To be able to really train your mind to have a bit more willpower and a bit more discipline on exactly what you're thinking about and whether or not you're spiraling down rabbit holes. I actually had a dream at one point that the woman I was dealing with was trying to break into my RV. And then a couple nights later, a dream that a guy I've never seen before and couldn't really make out his face really was trying to break into my RV. A couple months later, like a month or two later, this same woman, we ended up getting in a fight, and then she started following me all over town and staring at me all evilly and yelling obscenities at me and shit, and then sitting in the parking lot and staring at my RV at night and stuff. And finally I was like, you know what? Your daughter already put a restraining order on you. I really don't want to have to do the same thing. I really don't want to have to do that. So I would really appreciate if you would leave me the fuck alone. And if you don't, I will be doing that. She never did bother me again. Although sometimes I wonder how many of the people that were attacking me or lashing out at me happened to be friends of hers. So let's see what else we got. Bottom feeders have tried so much to tear you down. Don't focus on them or their games. Take the high road, protect your energy, pray and meditate. All will bring you peace in this turbulent time. Walk always speaks louder than talk. Their actions will speak too in a very loud volume that it is hard to miss. Like we were talking about earlier, when it comes to your reputation and your character. Those are two very different things. Your reputation is what people are spewing about you out there and what small minds are believing. Like some people, before they met me, believing that I stabbed my ex in the eyeball with a fork. I don't know which ex, honestly, I don't really care. When that one was told to me, I just started fucking laughing because that's all you could do, really. I stabbed him in the eye with a fork. Boy, they're getting inventive and imaginative at this point. Pretty crazy. But that's reputation. That's not character. And honestly, that kind of reputation might actually be somewhat of a good thing, because then people are going to think twice before they fuck with you. They're going to think twice before they look at you wrong, let alone, do anything to mess with you. You need to miss it, though, by being so busy living and working on your own things and your own life. Don't care what others think or believe, because you know what's real. Everything that is sent out eventually comes back. Don't take revenge. Just walk away with your head held high. Stand up and say something if it is necessary to address someone doing it up front, but keep your temper in check. You could also behave as you feel like others should to show them how it's done. I have complimented those who have torn me down minutes before publicly, because that's who I am. Your jealous lashing out won't change me. So, don't allow the people around you to change who you are as a person. Don't allow them to get under your skin and cause you to believe anything that they are sending your way. Brighter than gold, Louis II. You are transforming every day. It has been a very changing time, but it is for your highest good. Sometimes the old ways of being or doing need to be changed so that you can move forward. Trust that you will rise up. You have what it takes, and a fire burns in your soul. There may be secrets that you are afraid to express. It is time to voice your desires, your wants, and your needs. It is time to recognize what is truly valuable to you and to create a new beginning through honesty, hope, peaceful thoughts, rest, reflection, self-care, and being able to release the outcome, believing that it is worth expressing yourself no matter what comes. Knowing what you truly want wants you to. Hi, Lizzie. Nice to see you. So, Jacob Lee Conscience is coming to mind too. In that song, he talks about how we wouldn't have these ideas or these dreams or these desires if it wasn't for a reason. There's a reason why we have those wants. There's a reason why we have that drive, that motivation, and that inspiration to do the things that feel very much in alignment with our soul. So regardless what things look like on the outside, or regardless how many obstacles there are, if you feel like you are on the right path, you are on the right path. If you feel like this is what's important to you, and this is what you want to do, and this is where you want to go, and this is where you can make the most impact on this world, then that is what's important. Try not to allow the spiritual warfare or the physical warfare or the mental and emotional warfare or anything else to get in the way of what it is that you truly believe is your path and purpose in this life. So we have Ouroboros, infinity, eternal, past life. Nephilim, controversial, assessing, new perspectives. Water, reflection, kindness, and compassion. So it may be time to look back on the past, on the places you lived in the past, on the people you were surrounded by in the past, on the connections you had in the past, and to really reflect on those situations and look at them on a deeper level. Look at them from a higher perspective and also at a deeper level. Really dive into those situations, explore them, explore your emotions, how you were feeling then, how you were responding and reacting to situations, how you're feeling now, how you have grown, and how you've been able to level up in the way that you handle or deal with the situations. And also really looking at the other people that were involved in those situations, how they might have been feeling at that time, what things might have looked like from their shoes or their position, because maybe you've faced situations now that have allowed you to see and have more insight into their side of the situations, how they handled it at that point, what their emotions looked like at that point, and how they have grown as well in their life, and how they've been able to level up, how they have been able to really overcome a lot of the ways that they were feeling or behaving, and how they might have put in a lot of work as well on themselves in order to heal and grow. And then set your energy towards hoping that they do more of that, and hoping that you do more of that. There might be some very controversial ideas that you're having when it comes to that, which is a good sign, because you're pulling away from a lot of the worldly views when it comes to how to handle situations, or what people are evil, because there's a lot of people will claim people are evil all day long. I've been accused of being evil myself several hundred times, especially in this town. There's been a lot of people that, oh, you work for the devil. Oh, blah, 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 blah. They don't even know what I do. They haven't even looked at it. They just looked at the outside cover and were like, oh, that's the book I've been told to be afraid of, so I'm going to be afraid of that book. Anybody who's a different religion is evil, so I'm going to be afraid of that, and I'm going to lash out at it, and I'm going to destroy it, which is funny because it doesn't say to do that in their book anyway. Oh, actually it does. It says not to, and it says to. So it's a very contradicting book. Every single thing in it, just about, you can find the contradiction in there too. It goes back and forth a lot in that specific book. So anyway, you're having a lot of new perspectives, a lot of new understandings. You're really seeing things very differently than you did in the past. And a lot of the anger that you might have held is starting to fade away. A lot of the pain and the hurt that you may have been feeling, you're realizing that other people were feeling that pain and that hurt too. And you might have then too, but you really had to pull away from feeling empathetic towards them for feeling that way because of the simple fact that if you continued to be empathetic towards it at that point and you didn't detach yourself emotionally from it, you would have allowed a lot more abuse to continue to happen. So you really had to, it's Keeping Me Alive. Keeping Me Alive is the song that's coming to mind right now. You really had to switch gears. You had to be in that angry state. You had to be in that emotionally detached state in order to love yourself and in order to put your foot down and in order to walk away from things that were really not good for you or the other people involved. And honestly, this walking away was very important because this situation could have turned into something much worse if it wasn't for somebody being willing to walk away and let it go. Hi, ML. Nice to see you. But you're having a lot more compassion, empathy, and understanding for the situation that happened as well now, because now you're able to have that without feeling like you need to accept certain behaviors just because you feel that way and just because you love the people around you. So, Kitsune, I will show you who to trust. You are unlike anyone else. Your contradictions and complexities are interesting. I have a lot of my own contradictions too. Because there is a lot of times where I'm like, well, you could think about it this way, but you could think about it this way, but you could think about it this way. And everybody's like, oh, people with, oh, somebody was telling me something the other day about being the slow kid with ADHD. And I was like, really? Because you know what? I feel like people with ADHD think so fucking fast that they're bouncing from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. And their mind just runs way too fast for anybody else to fucking keep up with, which is why everybody else is stuck on this one thing over here while they have already done 100 things over here. That's just me though. I feel like people believe whatever they're told to believe a lot of times, and that really destroys a lot of good potential. You are unlike anyone else. Oh, we read that one already. Your contradictions and complexities are interesting. Little brother, little sister, siblings, younger friends, responsibility. So, you could have spent a lot of time being very responsible. You could have grown up very young. You could have had to deal with a lot and a lot of stress and weight on your shoulders at a very young age. It could have actually been extremely hard for you to even find your inner child again and allow it to come out at all, because of the way that you grew up and the extra weight and responsibility that you had to deal with along the way. And the fact that you might have grown up in a very chaotic or chaos-inducing environment, anxiety-creating environment, or there could have just been a lot of things going on all the time. There could have been a lot of abuse. There could have been a lot of situations that really made you feel very powerless or out of control, or like you were very unsafe and uncomfortable in a lot of those situations. And so that adult inside of you had to come out to make sure to take care of everything, be responsible for everything, make sure everything ran smoothly, things like that. You may have even sheltered and taken care of those that were younger than you so that they didn't have to go through the same pains that you went through. And so over the last few years, you could definitely have been breaking free of a lot of that and really allowing yourself. I have this theory that I've had for a few years, and I've told a few people about it. When it comes to like DID, for instance, dissociative identity disorder, where people go through a very extremely traumatic abuse, one that could have completely shattered them or broke them or destroyed them in some way, their mind will create alternate identities to take on these weights and these responsibilities. It will create outlets to deal with the situations that you feel like you can't deal with. And so you are broken into several pieces to where this piece handles these situations, and this piece handles these situations, and this piece handles these situations. Now, I feel like if that can be created by those very chaotic, uncontrollable circumstances that are very traumatic and painful and hurtful, then I also feel like 44 to 22 was just on the clock too. those things can be uncreated. Once you feel safe, once you feel calm, once you feel like everything's going to be okay, like you can take care of yourself, like your adult, your inner adult has actually shown up for your inner child and stood up for them and defended them and stood against whatever it needed to. And once you feel safe again, once you feel comfortable again, once you feel complete again, I feel like those pieces can all merge back together and become one entity. Nobody's going to talk about that though, because this is just something that we can't fix. There's no cure for it, and I want to keep you buying medicine. So we're going to make sure you just keep buying medicine instead of figuring out how to actually heal your core and your root. Because I feel like people that are in that boat could heal. It would take a lot of hard work, and it would take a long time. And it would take really being able to feel comfortable and safe, even in unsafe situations. It would probably take a lot of faith as well. Thank you, Margaret. It's been really, I don't know, I think of a lot of things like that though, but I've studied like 18 years of psychology, even though I've never gone to school for it. I have spent a lot of my time working with a lot of different people and going and exploring and researching as much as I can about whatever they have going on, so that if I run into somebody else with that, I can be even more helpful than I was in that situation, or even to help them at that current time. I've spent a lot of time doing that throughout my life, and a lot of it has been done with no pay at all. And that's because that's what I fucking love. I just love being able to get into the minds of people and being able to help them heal. The 10 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, and the 4 of Swords. There's 4 people watching and 4 people have liked it at this point too. So 44 is definitely a very strong number today. It came out in the pictures at the beginning too. Some of you might want to go back and listen to the beginning message if you didn't. So there was a lot of heartbreak, hurt, pain, sadness, loss in the past that you went through. And you're really seeing very clearly how these things happen now. You're picking up on a lot of the pieces that you didn't see in the past, those missing pieces that were going on in the past that you really didn't see or that were really hard to put together. You're starting to put them together and you're starting to really see things very differently. Thank you, beautiful. And you're welcome. I'm glad that people can tell that. People can probably tell that a lot when I'm painting too. I'm like 1,000 worlds away when I'm painting or any kind of art a lot of times. Sometimes even writing. You're definitely seeing things very differently. The view that you have now is much more colorful. It's not so black and white. It's much more in the middle. It's much more balanced. In the past, you might have been seeing things very black and white. You might have been seeing things as hero and villain. You might have been seeing things as this is my enemy. And that really gave you the ability to be able to fight. That gave you the ability to be able to go forward. It gave you the ability to be able to stand up when you needed to stand up, to be able to say what you needed to say when you needed to say it. But you don't necessarily need that anger in order to do that anymore. You don't necessarily need that I'm so innocent and they're so guilty perspective in order to feel good about the things that you're doing anymore out of self-love. And so you're really starting to accept things and to accept that you were dealing with somebody that was very hurt, somebody that was in a lot of pain, and somebody that was lashing out because of that pain. And it doesn't excuse the actions they made, just like it doesn't excuse some of the actions you made out of your anger. But what it does is give you more of an understanding, a compassion, and an empathy for it. One that you may have used to have had very fully and very strongly to a very detrimental level. And you really had to pull it back. You had to detach. You had to stop feeling that empathy for those situations so that you could move away from anything that was hurting you or destroying you in some sort of way. But at the end of the day, once you came back to yourself, it was like, this is who I am. This is the person that I want to be. And I don't want to let these situations change me or the heart that I have in that way. Did I need to make a change? Yes. Did this happen for a reason? Yes. So that I could make that change and so that I could feel good about making that change. And you still feel good about making that change. But now you're also able to handle those situations in a much better way and able to not let those situations really cause you so much hurt and pain, because you're starting to see that a lot of those situations have more to do with the people you're dealing with than they do with you. So you're also okay with allowing them to deal with their own shit instead of feeling like you need to fix it all, because it's not your responsibility to fix it all. Even when it comes to healing people, you can only do so much. Aristotle at one point said, before you decide to help a person heal, ask them if they're willing to get rid of all the things that made them sick in the first place. A lot of people are not willing to do that. A lot of people really don't want to make those changes in their life. A lot of people are just happy and fine and comfortable being right where they are. Somebody that I was working with at one point, a couple months had gone by, and they were staying in my trailer that night. And they're like, so what if I see now the things that I'm doing and the repeating patterns that are there, what's going on, but I kind of don't want to change anything, and I'm just comfortable with it as it is, and I kind of like it that way. And I was like, well, when the universe wants you to change those things, they want you to create a change in your life, and they want you to start going down a different path, they will drop tower after tower after tower on your ass, and it will get bigger and bigger and bigger until you fucking pay attention and listen. And sure enough, that's exactly what it did to him. Over the next couple months, it was like giant tower, giant tower, giant tower, till you get the hint. And until you go, wait a second, I really need to start doing things differently. But none of that is on you. And now you're okay with really allowing people to go through their own crap to get to where they need to get to, and not feeling like it's your responsibility to take care of it. Like we were talking about earlier, you could definitely have been somebody who had to take a lot of responsibility at a very young age. You could have also been somebody that really had to deal with a lot of people who had very bad emotional regulation. And so you wanted to make sure to regulate your emotions so that you were never causing them to have an outburst. It's not your fucking fault they're having an outburst. It's their fucking fault that they can't control their own damn emotions. When I do something, it's on me. Which means when somebody else does something, it should be on them too. It shouldn't be on me. It's not my fault that they're acting this way. Yes, granted, when you go into an argument with somebody, the tone that you have in your voice and the energy that you're putting out there is very important, because it can really shift that conversation. It can shift it to chaos, anger, hatred, fear, or it can shift it to love, peace, harmony, happiness, joy, depending on the energy that you're putting out there. But it is not your responsibility to make sure everybody's in that energy. It's not your responsibility to take on, or your weight or your burden to take on. It's theirs. But a lot of us were trained to be that way. As an empath, generally, most empaths, 99% of them, have been through extremely severe trauma and abuse throughout their life. Why do you think you pick up on everybody's emotions so easily? Why do you think you pick up on their vibes and their energies so easily? It's because you have been trained to pick up on those things so that you can make sure to act in ways that keep things from escalating. When in reality, it's not your responsibility to make sure other people are not falling off the deep end. It's only your responsibility to make sure you aren't. And even with yourself, sometimes I'm sure it's been hard to do. And I'm sure there have been times where you have. Because that happens to pretty much anybody. Excuse me. So, throughout the time and throughout everything that has happened here, you have really gained this very peaceful state when it comes to being on your own emotionally. You're very calm, peaceful, and joyful on your own emotionally. You have everything that you need inside of yourself to take care of your emotions and to take care of you. So does everyone else. Everyone else has that within them too. And so that's a lot of the reason why you have learned how to detach from that a bit and learned how to let people self-soothe instead of feeling like you need to jump in there and take care of anyone and everyone that's hurting all the time. Sometimes people do need to face things on their own, and it's good for them. This is bringing you so much happiness and awareness into your life. This is bringing peace and harmony and joy to the connections that you have. All of this looking back on things now and seeing things from a new perspective and understanding things in a new way. Sometimes the ability to be able to go back and, hey, I'm so sorry that I was behaving this way at this time. I was feeling very hurt and there was a lot of stuff going on. And I may have jumped to conclusions about you, or I may have treated you in ways that you just really didn't deserve. 5544 is on the clock. So all these transformations that you're making and the ability to still love yourself at the end of the day, even though you have had some of those blow ups on people or those explosions on people, or you have lashed out on people that didn't deserve it or things like that, being able to accept those things and love those things inside yourself is also allowing you to be able to accept and love others who have done those things in your life too, while still maintaining the fact that you don't need to put up with it when they are doing it. And those other people who turned away from you when you might have been doing it did not have to put up with it when you were doing it either. So, in between messages, if anybody wanted to be able to donate or make a purchase, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list down there. And I really appreciate each and every one of you that support me in whatever way you do, whether it be doing that or purchasing other services or liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps or super thanks stickers or anything like that on my other videos as well. Thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it. So, grow with Tori. Feel like you're being called to the journey of the sacred woman. Any guidance and clarity from spirit. Sugar Shack Sessions has a song. I want to say it's called Medicine Man. Not sure, because it sings about medicine woman, medicine man. And it's a really good song. You might really enjoy that. The Journey of a Sacred Woman. Let's see what they have to say. Someone may have to have surgery because of a bad habit, but because of this eye-opener, they are ready for a lifestyle change. After this change, they are going to notice how much that habit was draining their life and hurting others around them. So there could definitely be something medical going on that might open your eyes to... There's a war going on in that field too, between natural medicine and scientific medicine, people-made medicine. Both can be very good at times and both can be bad at times. Anything can be bad when it's not in moderation or when it's not, when it's not done medically but is overindulged in. There is a lot of things that the pharmaceutical company puts out there that are extremely bad for you. I mean, when you're listening to I hate those fucking commercials and listening to them, because it's like, oh, take our medicine, it's the best thing you could ever do, when you could actually heal this naturally, but we're not going to tell you how to heal this naturally. We're going to have you take this medicine that can cause you to be blind. It can cause you to be crippled. It can cause you to go into kidney failure. And it's like, wow, really? This is what you're going to tell me to do, is to take this medicine that can cause all of these fucking crazy shit? And some of these are way worse than whatever I'm taking this medicine for. For some reason, that just seemed like it was the topic that needed to come out. A shift is coming. Everything is changing. Probably because my daughter, there's been a lot of times where my daughter, a lot of the professions she's thought about being have to do with being a doctor. And me personally, shaman over here. And there is a lot of very good things that doctors and human medicine can do for this world. And there's a lot of really good things that natural medicine and natural healing can do for this world. But it does take a lot of faith too. So a shift is coming and everything is changing. Don't be scared of this shift. If you are feeling fear, examine those fears for the root causes. Uncover the why and heal the source. Face those fears head on to overcome them. You might feel like you are just done trying in a certain area. Get ready, because as soon as you feel this way, you will be blown away by how easily everything seems to fall into place. So, there's going to be massive upheavals going on in your life, and there's going to be a lot of things shifting around, changing, moving. There may be a lot of situations that are coming into your life, or people that are coming into your life, that are going to make you feel a lot of fear and anxiety when it comes to dealing with these situations or these people. When you choose the path of being a healer in whatever way, you choose the path of inviting in a lot of people who are in severely low vibrations, who are wrapped up in a lot of darkness, a lot of despair, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. A lot of people who have hurt you in the past are the people that these people are going to remind you of. And so you might be afraid to be around these people, or you might be afraid to give to these people in the ways that you can. You might be afraid to put your healing energy out there, to allow people to see your light or feel your light, or to allow people to get close to you in any sort of way. In order to be the best healer that you can be, you have to be able to intimately connect to people. You have to be able to remove that mask and be very open and vulnerable. And that is definitely something that you are going to be facing, is having to be okay with that. Having to have faith and trust that this is where you're supposed to be, and this is what you're supposed to be doing. And when it is our time to go, it's our time to go. When it isn't, it isn't. You're very welcome, sweetheart. I did get your payment, Katerina. Go ahead and throw your question down there, and I will answer it after Tori's questions. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. If anybody wants to be able to purchase or make a donation, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list down there. Thank you guys so much for your support as well. Love, trust, happiness, loyalty, awareness, truth, patience, peace, abundance, holding your head up high. Abundance is coming. Direction, leader, mind over matter, allow, hard work pays off, discernment, lead my intuition. I need a real king, queen, tilt your crown, inspiration, passion, creativity, my king, not just any king, dance around, lead by example, care, compassion, powerful, poetic, peaceful, music, magic, captivating, motivation, kindness, love, completion, possibilities. There could also be a love connection as well that might be coming in that may be making you feel very uncomfortable or unstable in some sort of way. Being able to keep a balance between this situation and the life that you have going on, being able to keep away from falling into any kind of toxic habits or any kind of codependent behaviors is something that's going to be very important as well. Remembering that you are wanting someone who is going to be meant for you and not just anyone is going to be very beneficial when it comes to exploring the options you have around you, because, or staying out of that codependent energy too, because you're going to be wanting somebody who is going to be able to be there, even though they know that you are busy with your own life and you have your own things going on. Somebody that you're going to be able to trust and respect and know that they are okay when you're not around, and vice versa. You're going to have to be able to trust and respect yourself and know that know that you are going to be okay when this person is off busy doing their things and not constantly thinking about each other and constantly jumping into the fears or insecurities, and also being able to communicate those things between each other is going to be something very important. So I feel like Spirit is also telling you that the partnership you choose to have in your life is going to be something very important when it comes to being this person that you're wanting to be. It's going to be very important to your life purpose and your path. Blue avians, philosophy, releasing karma, and mysticism. So there is a lot of karma that you're going to be releasing, letting go of, things that are not yours to carry anymore, things that you've been able to work through, and things that you've been able to heal that are really going to be clearing the way and opening a lot of doors for you. Do not be afraid to walk through these doors. You're really going to be learning a lot more about magic and mysticism, about what it means to you and how it works in this world. Manifesting is going to be something that you're going to be delving into very fully as well. And philosophy, really questioning things and being okay with just putting the question out there with no answers to it. Being okay with just being like, wow, I wonder in this situation if there's something that can be done. Maybe there could be. A time to say goodbye. Something is about to end for now. So it could be time to say goodbye to certain situations or to let go of certain situations, to really switch your focus to something else in some sort of way. There's a lot of times where people have to make journeys on their own. You or other people have to make journeys on their own. And in order to get to certain levels. A couple years ago, about 5 years ago, I asked to be a better healer than I was. I asked to be able to really learn and grow and be able to help more people than I did. Be careful what you wish for sometimes, because you know what? The last couple years and the experiences that I've went through, the people that I've dealt with, the everything that I've dealt with the last couple years, all of that was learning. That was my school of life to help me level up, to help me become a better healer. Was it easy? Hell no, it wasn't easy. I fought tooth and nail to get through that. But this is what I wanted. And so in order to do what I wanted, I had to be able to go through all those experiences so that I could take and learn from those experiences firsthand. Because wisdom comes from firsthand knowledge. Knowledge comes from a book, but wisdom comes from experience. So I had to experience a lot of extra things in order to be the person that I wanted to be. And so you may be getting ready to go through a lot of those experiences yourself. The golden phoenix, something that you thought was finished, burst back into life. So just when you're like, this is done, this is over, this is something that's out of my life, and I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with that. Everything's fine, everything's good, and I don't need this to survive. I wanted this in my life, but I don't need this. Once you get into that state where you're not really codependent on that situation anymore, where you're feeling good, where you're doing good, something is definitely going to burst back into life for you. And all of the things that you're going to be dealing with, you're going to rise back up from. And you're going to rise back up from these things with more wisdom, with more experience, with more knowledge and understanding of yourself and the world around you. And that is really going to help you in this business that you're creating. So question 2, thinking about creating a Patreon with sharing your writings and more pieces of inspiration in addition to what I already do. You know what? I feel like that would be a pretty good idea. I've thought about it myself a couple times, although I don't know, I kind of prefer YouTube. Mostly because YouTube is kind of like the PBS of modern days. And so it makes me feel good about being able to spread it with everyone, or you know what I mean? But I do feel like that would be an extremely good idea. You might be feeling like you're out of your depth in some sort of way when it comes to that, or you're unsure about how to go about it, or whether or not it's going to pan out. Remember to use your mind and your heart when it comes to making the decisions involved in this. And in taking this leap of faith, You might feel like it's a little overwhelming, but you're not going to drown. You're going to be just fine in taking this leap of faith. The Galactic Federation, collaborations, meeting, and community. So, you may also be thinking about collaborating with certain people or working with certain people on certain things. This could also be something that could be very beneficial for you and could really generate and create a lot more stability and improve really your standing. It can also there's a lot of spiritual workers that all fight against each other, especially when they believe different beliefs. That song is coming to mind again. Imagine all the people. I think the name of the song is Imagine. There's a war a lot of times between spiritual people. And so being able to have peaceful and harmonious connections between the people like ourselves, where everybody's not competing over everything and everybody's not trying to take down the other person, is something that's very important. And that is something that will really improve your standing as well. Being able to love and work with the people around you. Elizabeth and the Lion, it is time to become a great leader. To believe in yourself. Quetzalcoatl and the Priestess of Time, the time has come. The time to act is now. So, this is the time to take action, to have that courage and that bravery, that strength of spirit to be able to go after what it is that you want and create this. You are definitely going to be a very great leader. And a lot of that comes from that first step forward. 11:33 was on the clock a second ago as well. That actually used to be, my channel name used to be Earth Angel 1133 instead of 1188. And so, yeah, right now you are definitely going through a lot of the learning, a lot of the overcoming, and also that being able to collaborate and working in groups. 3 of Pentacles and illumination. The plans are being illuminated to you. You are seeing things very clearly. Even if you're questioning things, the ideas that are coming to you for a reason. And sometimes it's really hard to piece those things together. And sometimes those messages can be extremely confusing when they're coming in. What's coming to mind right now is, listen with your heart, you will understand. Let it break upon you like the waves upon the sand. So there's definitely going to be a situation coming in the near future where there is going to be something where people are fighting opposite sides and people are really standing their grounds very harshly. And you might actually be somebody who comes in the middle of this and makes peace between the sides. So what you are working on is definitely very important, and it's going to have a very wide-spanning effect and impact on the world around you. And a lot of that is going to have to do with making peace between people who would rather see each other as evil, even though both parties are really trying to work towards having something good in the world. Your king, not just any king. Damn straight. Thank you, Katarine. I noticed that you changed your question. So let's get into your question. What do your guides want to say about your current spiritual development? Let's see. Current spiritual development. A new home may be in your future. Don't be afraid of these changes. Change is the only constant. If you avoid it or try to stop it, then it will still happen, just not so smoothly. So there's definitely going to be a lot of changes coming up for you. You might be wanting to run away from these changes, or you might be wanting not to face these changes or to hide from them in some sort of way. You may even be in a very strong state of fear or anxiety about them. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in overthinking things. Try to make sure that you're getting a good amount of sleep, that you're eating right, that you're getting out in the sun and the fresh air, that you're doing the things that you can to keep yourself in the best health possible at this time, because that is really going to help you to be able to deal with the situations that are coming up so much more effectively. And change is an equal opportunity entity. It can have both good and bad. It always has both good and bad. Staying stuck in the moment you're in right now has both good and bad too. And when you try to resist that change, it really can mess up a lot in your life. So try to be adaptable and flexible with whatever's going on right now, and to be okay with the fact that things are changing around and shifting and moving. You might have been dissatisfied for a fair amount of time over certain things in your life. This dissatisfaction is going to end and go away as these changes come about. Sometimes you want something so bad, it gnaws at your soul. Don't allow your desires to bring your vibes down. Believe that you can have what you want. Put in your part, pray, and have faith. This want can be fulfilled, but believing is seeing in this case. These changes that are coming about could actually be due to some of the prayers that you've had, or due to some of the manifestations that you've been trying to bring in. This could be getting the set ready for creating and manifesting what it is that you were wanting to bring in. So, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, is what I just heard. Try not to be so upset about what's happening. And trust me, I know how hard that is, because there have definitely been times in my life where things are changing and I don't like it. But I got to deal with it. And you're going to have to deal with it either way. So you might as well deal with it from a state of peace, faith, and being able to just go with the flow and releasing things. Love comes easily. Healing comes easily. Everything unfolds naturally. I am not stressed. I am not worried. I am strong. I am stable. I am amazing. My channel is growing. My money is growing. People around me are honest. The lies are all exposed. Truth is seen. Love is felt. Hate falls away. Pain is receding. I don't care about judgments and opinions of others. The liars will be seen through. Energy vampires, projectors, manipulators, they all get what's coming, and so do I. I deserve peace. I deserve success. I deserve a vacation free of the BS. I am open. I am vulnerable. I am awake. I am aware. I am courageous, diligent, responsible, reliable, fair, grounded, loyal, and authentic. I remove more and more masks, and I love each layer that I uncover. As other people's masks fall away, I realize that they're the same as me. This energy spreads, and everyone all around me starts doing this as well. So, embracing forgiveness, releasing and letting go. It's okay, sweetheart. It's going to be fucking amazing. The beauty that's going to be coming out of these changes is going to be amazing. Being able to every day wake up and look in the mirror and tell yourself some affirmations is going to be very helpful. The world around me is constantly changing, and I am able to ride these changes from a place of peace and acceptance. I am strong, and I can make it through anything that comes my way. I am very adaptable and flexible. When things don't happen exactly the way that I want them to happen, I'm okay with that, because I know that there's a greater plan and purpose. A song that would be very helpful for you is You Know Better Than I, from the Joseph King of Dreams soundtrack. Because you know better than I. You might feel the need or the desire to rail against this, to be upset, to be hurt by it, to be feeling a little bit betrayed by it. But remind yourself at the end of the day that everything that's happening is happening for a reason. And those that are in a higher spiritual realm than us that can see things from a different perspective than us definitely do know what is going to create the best circumstances for us in our life to put us on the path that we need to be on. The Knight of Swords, the Three of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. So, there is definitely some very quick movement that you're going to be having to make. You may even be learning a lot about different things or new situations. This learning that you are doing, or this quick action and quick thinking that you're doing, is going to generate a lot of opportunities for you. As each old door closes, there's going to be new doors opening. Each door is only open for a certain amount of time, and each door has something different behind it. There's definitely a lot of opportunities that are going to be coming your way. And these opportunities that are going to be coming your way are opportunities that you have manifested. Opportunities for financial stability, opportunities for loyalty or commitment, opportunities for real people, for support, for kindness, for care, opportunities for honesty, and opportunities for real situations with people. These opportunities are going to be very beneficial and very prosperous for you. There's another song. It goes, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that bitch. I am going to go get that bag and I am not going to take your shit. That song is a really good song, and you might find that to be very beneficial at this time too. The unending sadness of looking back. Endless regret, obsessive grief, replaying the past, and negative nostalgia. And now that I read that card, I have to mention the other song that I was thinking about too. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Bitter, but I'm really not sure. No, I don't get bit. I get better. It might be called that. I don't get bitter, I get better, is one of the lyrics from it. I don't need to waste my time thinking about all this shit or dealing with it, and I don't need to focus my energy on getting revenge. That's just, I can wash my hands of it and let karma take it from there. And once we let go of it, that's when karma can actually find where it needs to go. Because when we're holding on to it, that karma is attached to us. Once we release it and let it go, it's nowhere near us, and it goes back to that person. Fiona and the Unicorn, the gift of sacred sight. Once upon a midnight dreary, creative genius writing, expression, and artistic flow. So a lot of the manifestations that you're going to be manifesting in are going to have a lot to do with writing as well. Write down your affirmations, write down your manifestations. Scripting could be very good for you when it comes to manifesting. And definitely the gift of sacred sight is something that is going to be being enhanced within you. If you have felt like before you might be clairvoyant and you might see things or know things before they happen, this is definitely something that is a part of your life. And this is something that you're going to be learning more about, and something that you're going to be able to see more clearly and believe in more fully. And a lot of the changes that you're going through right now are for that very reason, so that you can see these gifts more and value them more, and so that you can really trust in them and believe in them more, instead of believing in the world's view of that's just crazy and those things don't happen. Yes, and that could be a lot of the reason why, is because this stuck, stagnant energy and really not being sure of what's real or what's going on. But these changes are really going to be letting you know that those things are real. And you're also going to be seeing and noticing opportunities before they even come about. And you might miss some of them because you aren't trusting in that gift. But that is for a purpose too. The ones that are meant for you will never be able to slip away. These ones that are coming along that you end up missing like that, it's so that it can really let you know that, hey, if you would have jumped on this, who knows what could have happened? Something amazing could have happened, But you were busy going, oh no, that's not real. So that's what I got for your question. I really hope that helped and hope you enjoyed it. And Hannah, I am doing questions that you can purchase today if you want to send payment. I do one free question session a month at the beginning of the month, the first week. And other than that, I have services that you can purchase and you can find out about in the description box below. Or on my Thursday live collective readings, I do questions as well for payment. And if anybody wants to be able to purchase a question, or if you want to be able to donate, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Lizzie. I really appreciate that. And you know what? Since you donated, will your friend come back? I don't really do yes or no's, but I will give you the energy of it. Don't be careless in your connections. Be discerning of who you allow into your energy. You are responsible for the choices that you make in your life. Know who and what you are and make sure that you aren't accepting less than what you are worth. Don't allow others to continue walking over you, which is why I have to make sure to put my foot down on things like that. Thank you very much, Lizzie, by the way. So definitely throw your question down there. I would say you don't want this person back in your life, honestly. That was the first thought that popped into my mind anyway. This person was removed from your life for a reason. Accept that and allow things to be what they are. Move forward and know that you will make another friend, one that may actually be better for you. You're welcome, sweetheart, and thank you too. So, while you are getting your questions out there, I'm going to go back to the collective. Stop hating yourself. What they told you was false. You are amazing as you are. Who you love is who you love. What you are attracted to is what you are attracted to. The hate and the hurt that you feel is projecting. The right people won't hate you for being you and doing what you enjoy best. Walking away from places and people that make you feel stuck and small is good for you. Life is too short to waste away in a miserable space, slowly suffocating to death. So change is coming in. Loving yourself more fully, being able to let go of the things that have been weighing you down or the people that have been weighing you down, being able to move away from situations that are not good for yourself or your mental health is going to be very important for you guys at this time. So much money is coming my way, and I just know what to do with it. I am so abundant and blessings rain down on me like gold coins. It is like I found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I enjoy all of the things that I enjoy doing regularly. And I always have gas, food, power, running water. I've gotten to try so many new things. I love my life and I'm so grateful that I went for my dreams because they all came true. A dream is a wish that your heart makes. I didn't let others or my mind squash it out of existence. I am free. The most free that I have ever been. I finally got to go do all the things that I wanted to do. Finally got to see different places and cultures. And I finally get to show the world, to my babies. A whole new world, one where anything is possible. If you believe it and you work hard at it. So all the things that you are working on right now and all the things that you're doing in your life right now are creating a very strong transformation. 55 is on my screen right now. A very strong transformation. All the learning, all the growth that you've done, all the things that you've had to go through. You might have had to go through things with very little support, with very little money. You might have had to make a lot of sacrifices to get to where you are right now or to get to where you are going. And it is all completely and totally worth it because everything that you've been working on is something that is freeing you from the system in some sort of way. So, Lizzie, what are your current spiritual strengths? If you can't love yourself, then you can't give or receive love appropriately because your self-hate will be projected onto you and onto others. See yourself in a higher light. See yourself through heaven's eyes. Prince of Egypt soundtrack, Through Heaven's Eyes. A single thread in a tapestry, though its color brightly shines, doesn't know its importance in the pattern of the grand design, and a single stone that sits at the very top of the mountain doesn't feel like it's more important than the stones that form the base. So, really, it is very hard when you look at your life through the eyes of man or woman, when you look at your life through your own eyes, a lot of times, especially because even if we do judge other people, we always judge ourselves far more harshly than we do other people. So it's time to really examine those judgments that you have on yourself, those judgments that you might actually be projecting out onto other people as well. So take a couple years ago, I had a lot of people that were telling me I work for the devil and all this other kind of shit and that I'm evil because of what I do. They don't even fucking know what I do, for one thing. And if they ever did look at it, they would realize that they are so fucking wrong and off base on what they're thinking on that front. And it's all because the world has told them to believe that. At the same time, because I was kind of believing it myself in some ways and judging myself and feeling guilty or ashamed of who I was and what I was doing and feeling like it was evil in some sort of way because the world has told me that my entire life. I had to shift and change that belief because there was some people that I probably lashed out on that really were not trying to make me feel that way. But because I was feeling that way, that whole group collectively of that specific religion became somewhat of an enemy to me. And they didn't need to be. I don't need to compete with them. I don't need to be at war with them. I don't need to have that war waging and battle waging inside of me or with the people around me. Instead, I just need to let it go and take the high road and be okay with the fact that there is going to be some people who are going to hate me or misunderstand me or treat me like I am in some way not good enough. And that's okay. Because it's all what we feel about ourselves that matters the most. So it's time to start upgrading the way that you feel about you. This one is partially washed away. And so really there could be a lot of things that are starting to disappear. Or maybe even a lot of things that you aren't seeing quite clear when it comes to what you're doing or who you are. It's time to give to you a little bit. Expecting all of your care to come from outside of yourself ends up being very codependent. If you ever wonder why you end up in relationships that are codependent and toxic, it's time to look in your mirror, and it's not time to look in your mirror with judgment. It's time to look in your mirror with acceptance and love, compassion, empathy, and understanding. Are you codependent yourself? When you feel like you're dealing with someone who is extremely narcissistic, are you seeing narcissism in this person, or are you seeing self-love and self-care that you deny yourself regularly? Because my mother-in-law feels like I'm a narcissist, but she feels like I'm a narcissist because she's a fucking doormat to everybody that ever comes into her fucking life. She does everything for everyone and then gets walked on and wonders why. Wonders why nobody appreciates it, nobody gives a flying fuck, nobody shows her any gratitude, and everybody takes everything from her without ever giving her a damn thing because she won't accept anybody giving her anything, for one thing. And for another thing, she's going to continue to lay herself down as a doormat and then bitch about being a doormat. It jumps into that martyr energy, and it also makes you think that everybody you're interacting with is a narcissist. What do you see in yourself? What do you see in others? Is what you see in others a reflection of what you see inside yourself or what you don't see inside of yourself? It's time to take care of you. Don't expect your care to come from other people outside yourself. And also, expect others to take care of themselves instead of caring for them at the exclusion of you. Make sure that they are putting on their big boy or big girl panties and taking care of their damn selves instead of you having to do everything for them. It can be seen as selfish or narcissistic a lot of times when people take care of themselves, love themselves, put into themselves. It doesn't make it narcissistic, but a lot of people will see it that way. Are you seeing certain people around you as narcissistic for taking care of themselves and loving themselves and not making all of your issues their main priority? Are you choosing to love yourself and care for yourself and not make everybody's issues around you a main priority, but having a very hard time with it because you feel like you're being narcissistic? If so, then make sure to look into those things. If you were validating yourself and loving yourself, then you would not be looking for that external validation and love. You wouldn't really care what anybody outside of you was thinking or how they were feeling about you, because you would be feeling good about yourself. You would also know what you expect or want from others, and you would have no problem mentioning it and communicating it. When you are feeling less than or feeling unworthy or feeling like you need to do more for a situation or feeling like you aren't good enough for a situation in some sort of way, you start to accept things that you wouldn't normally accept. When you start getting codependent on a relationship, you start feeling like you need this relationship around. So it's okay if I just let this thing go because this thing's not so important. It's not as important as having this person around me. Choosing your battles wisely is a good thing. But when it comes to certain things, being able to express how you feel about it and what you really want in a situation is very important. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in a situation that really sucks and you don't even want to be in, but you don't want to be without, because it would make you feel bad to be alone. Instead of dreading that things will never come along that are actually what you want, embrace the fact that what you want does exist, but it's going to take you voicing your wants and your needs, and it's going to take you walking away from situations that are not what you want or need in your life. I love your body so much. It brings life to my eyes. You are so beautiful, very graceful, charismatic, and colorful. Your differences make you amazingly unique, and I love your energy. When you walk into the room, my heart stops for a beat every time. So you might also be questioning how someone feels about you at this time. And that questioning could be getting in the way of you expressing yourself fully too. That wondering, that waiting, that hoping, that, oh, I really need this, oh, I really want this, and oh, I really don't want it to go away, could really be causing a lot of situations to be more complicated in your life than you need them to be. You vibrate healing energies wherever you go. That is so awesome, beautiful. I really appreciate that. Definitely appreciate the extra energy going towards manifesting that stability financially in my life. I've never had a lot throughout my whole life, but boy, the last couple years have shown me how much more I had than I thought I did at points. At least I had a toilet. Actually, you know what? I've been saying that for years before I even lost my toilet or my shower, that, you know, at least I got a toilet, at least I got a shower. But I did get to experience what it was like to not have those things, which was important for learning. You're welcome, and thank you as well. You have so many layers to you. As I explore you, I am surprised more and more by what I uncover. A lush garden of beauty and abundance. Secret Garden by Bruce Springsteen. You deserve the best, and I hope you find it. She'll let you in her house if you come knocking late at night. She'll let you in her mouth if the words you say are right. If you pay the price, she'll let you deep inside. But there's a secret garden she hides. You know what? At one point there was a guy that I was telling, you know what? The sex might have came easier in this situation, but the love, trust, and respect is a lot harder to earn and keep. The love isn't. You can't really help who you love, but the trust and respect definitely is. You could definitely be somebody who has a lot easier of a time allowing people access to your body, but access to your mind, to your heart, to your inner being, to your more vulnerable, intimate spaces, maybe something that you keep a more hard wall up against. And so it might be time to start taking down some of those bricks and allowing yourself to be more vulnerable with people, more open with people, to start expressing yourself more authentically and just being you and not worrying so much about whether or not people are going to accept you at the end of the day. He might be being freaky just a bit. Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the Empress. You are definitely somebody that is worth the world. It may even be time to walk away from some of the things that you might have been taught as a child as well, in favor of new things, to unchain yourself from past situations. There might have been a lot of situations where you felt a very strong love, but you've had to move away from them. Or there may be a situation currently where you're going to have to express your truth about what it is that you want, and that this person just does not have what it takes to be the partner that you're looking for. And that doesn't mean that they're not an amazing person or they don't have their own beautiful things about them, but this just may not be the situation for you. And it is okay to let this person know that. It is okay to be honest about that with yourself and with others, and to move away from situations, even when you do have love in that situation. Sometimes that situation just is not the right situation for you. It's not the most conducive space for you to create abundance, beauty, and growth in your life. This freedom that you are going to be feeling from moving away from the things that have been holding you back is going to be so amazingly beautiful. You're really just going to be feeling like you made the right choice. And also like it's okay to just be you. Exploring your options is not a bad thing. Do not hate yourself for exploring your options and for deciding that you're not just going to settle at the first person that comes along, but allowing yourself to really see what's out there and see what it is that you want. Exploring your options helps you to get to know you better, what you want, what you don't want. And it also helps you to be more honest and more expressive when it comes to that as well. A loyal guardian, a magical protector is there for you. 33. So you definitely have people looking out for you, watching over you. Somebody might actually be doing white magic as well to protect you, or to help to cleanse and clear your energy, help you to not be absorbing so much of the negative, lower vibrational energy around you. You might want to start doing some of those rituals yourself as well. I do a lot of those for people around me too, because, you know, even some of the ones who have hurt me very badly, because what they need more than anything is to heal, and also to have that negative energy washed away and that positive energy to come in. Butterflies and gloom. After sadness, happiness and hope return. The fairy bee. My life is sweet. So there may be a lot of initial sadness, hurt, pain when it comes to moving away from the situations that you need to move away from. But at the end of the day, this transformation is going to be very good for you and very good for the people around you. As I told my ex, when it comes to being in a toxic situation like that, if it's toxic for me, it's toxic for you too, and it's toxic for anybody around us. And the more we try to hold on to this because we don't want it to end, or because we don't want to be blamed for it ending, or because, you know, we don't want our kids to have divorced parents, or whatever the fucking case is, it doesn't matter. All we are doing is hurting each other and destroying each other. And so moving away from this, somebody has to have the balls to do that. Somebody has to be able to step up to the plate and make this decision, because this decision is the best decision for both of us. Even if it hurts at first, that pain will heal. And then you'll be able to move into situations that are much more the situations you're wanting, and the person you're dealing with will be able to do the same. Because it will not only free you, but it'll free them too. And the nicest way possible that you can do this is going to be best too, although it doesn't always come out nice, especially when it's the first time you're doing it. Believing and knowing and trusting that your life is very sweet, is beautiful, is amazing. The complexities of you are beautiful and amazing. You have a lot of growth, fertility, and abundance coming your way. And a lot of this is going to be from you getting out there and really talking to more people, being around more people, and being okay with not being so withdrawn from the world. And also having boundaries when it comes to how much you're willing to do for people. Because you still have to do for you. And then you're not expecting others to do for you so much as well. So that's what I got for that question. Thank you so much for trusting me to guide you on that as well. Both of you guys. I really appreciate you guys. So your second question. Any message or advice from your spirit guides on your current situation? I feel like most of that was actually answered in that first question. Your spiritual strengths is the ability to be able to walk away from situations that you love, even though you have a lot of love in it. I didn't even read that second question, but it's like I answered both of them in that one question. We're still going to get some extra for that second question, though. Others may have purposefully overburdened you. They put their workload fully on you and refused to help you so that you would be distracted and you wouldn't have time for your own goals. So once again, that codependent situation where you're willing to put up with anything, yes, they put that on you, but you also accepted it. You took on that burden. You took on that weight. You allowed it to distract you from what you were working on that was really important to you. So taking accountability for your part in those situations while also still being able to make sure that you are not taking the blame for their part in that situation is very important. LMI naked. When it comes to loving people and wanting somebody to love you as you are, all of your shadow and light, everything that you are, first off, you have to love you that way. Second off, if you want somebody to love you that way, you have to love them that way. Everybody has a shadow. Everybody has demons inside of them. It's all in how well our demons dance together. Do our demons stomp on each other's toes? Are they on competition? Are they living in fear-based energies? Or are they feeling strong and stable and like they can collaborate? Really being able to love somebody fully and unconditionally is very important for getting that unconditional full love back yourself. But that does not mean that you put up with abuse, and that does not mean you stick around in situations where that love is not coming back to you, because just because you love them unconditionally does not mean they're going to do the same thing for you. Others never gave you the recognition or acceptance that you deserved. Look internally for that validation, like that first message was saying. It's the only one that can't be taken from you unless you let it be. Wow. If you can't acknowledge yourself, you will never see it from others either. So if you cannot acknowledge and see the beautiful essence that is you and love yourself unconditionally and beautifully, every part of yourself, even the messy, horrible, awful things, if you can't accept those things when you look in the mirror, if you deny those things, or if you run from those things, or if you decide you hate yourself because of those things, then that's all you're going to feel from the world outside of yourself. But when you start to love, appreciate, cherish, and value yourself, and really look at yourself in a different light, that becomes what you see from the world outside of you too. The grays, tall, utilitarian, organized, intimidating. So, you definitely are somebody who intimidates people. And a lot of this intimidation comes from how effectively you are able to handle everything that's on your shoulders at any given moment. You are definitely a very strong leader, and you are definitely somebody who is capable of multitasking with many different situations at once, which is also why they had to put so much on you to keep you from doing what you were doing to break free. And you were doing what you were doing, honestly, I feel like, to take care of yourself and the ones that you loved, but the ones that you loved were very insecure and felt like you were going to leave if you got that freedom. but I feel like you had no intentions of leaving and they pushed you out the door anyway with their actions. So stop feeling guilty or ashamed of moving away from these situations. Strange companions and stranger places, use your imagination. So you definitely have been running into a lot of people who believe or grew up very differently than you, people from different cultures or different walks of life. You may be making friendships with people that you thought you would never, ever in a million years be connecting with. And a lot of this as well is so that you can heal some of those judgments you have about yourself or the world around you. Artemis of the forest, now you are independent and you are free. So, you have claimed your power back. You are continuing to claim your power back. And all this power that you are claiming back and this ability to be able to move the way you want to move and to be able to do the things you want to do, that is freeing you. That is giving you that independence, that fierceness, that freedom that you need. And then it's going to be somewhat difficult as well to sacrifice that freedom for anything in your life. You're not going to be really willing to let go of this freedom. But you can have connections with people where you still maintain your freedom and they still maintain their freedom. But at the end of the day, it's a partnership where you come together and you support each other and love each other. Instead of living out of fear or intimidation or insecurities, you live out of trust, love, and respect. So I feel like those are the situations that you're going to be calling into your life going forward because of the decisions that you have made to move away from things that were not like that. Things that were restraining you or holding you down or holding you back. Thank you for sharing that, Lizzie. I am really glad that you have chosen to move away from those situations that have held you down or held you back. And I will say this much, my mom is one of the people that I had to break away from quite a bit as well. She spent a lot of time putting fear and anxiety on everything that I was doing and just talking a lot about myself or my siblings. And it just, I really didn't have the energy or time to have that in my life and to be thinking about that and allowing it to affect everything that I was going through or working on. At the end of the day, a lot of the things that she was mentioning were probably out of love because she was afraid for me. But at the same time, that does not change the fact that it was still generating a lot of negative, lower vibrational energy in my life and that I really did not need to have that around me. Some people don't know how to love and to allow people to just be what they are and be okay with that, to let go a bit. Thank you so much, Rashima. Same to you, sweetheart. You're very welcome, Grow with Tori. Thank you as well. Thank you all so much for whatever support you send this way, whether it be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving donations, purchasing services, leaving timestamps on my other readings, or hitting the super thanks button, leaving super chat stickers. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for letting me know how accurate that was. I am so glad that you're done being a people pleaser and that you're focusing on yourself and that you're deciding that it's not narcissistic to take care of you, because it really just is not. That's how people keep you in that constant state of being everyone's slave around you and scapegoat for everyone around you, is by making you believe that it's selfish or narcissistic to take care of you, to love you, and to do for you. There's a difference between selfish or narcissistic and self-love and self-care. You can still be a very generous, giving, kind, loving person, but somebody who has those boundaries there to where it's not taking away from you to do that. A powerful change in this world starts with you today. It's time to let go of the past, not the people or the love, but the pain and the hurt. Life is what we make it. Focus on the love. You know better than to allow abuse at this point, and others know better than to target you. That you may have had to move away from at some point because of the way they treated you, you might actually be able to have them in your life again. You might actually be able to have a relationship with them again. You might be able to deal with them again, because they are not going to be doing what they've done in the past again. They know better. And so does anybody else new that's coming into your life that has seen you do this. And if they don't, they will soon learn. Some have even realized their actions against you and will truly atone for them by a change in their behavior. For an apology that big, walk is the only thing that will work for you. But they also need to communicate their apology. Their apology needs to be as loud as their betrayal and their cover-up was. It is time for some people to face the music. It's free will on whether or not they choose to do it willingly, or will the universe do it for them. Some have healed enough already, some never will, and others have to learn the hard way. Nothing wrong with that, it just takes patience. Better late than never. So remember to have compassion, empathy, and understanding as well when it comes to people swallowing their pride and being able to confess what they've done and being able to apologize for it and being able to take the responsibility and accountability for it. It is really hard to do that sometimes. I know every one of us here has had to swallow that pride and own up to something before. It's a very hard thing to be able to do that. So remember that when it comes to people doing that in your life. Love you guys. Destiny. Money flows to me now, so much it makes you question how. Swiftly rising up the ranks, constantly filling in the blanks. Nothing can touch my energy, working in perfect synergy. Spiritual warfare falls on deaf souls, but not on those on top of their goals. What you give your energy to grows. What one reaps, one truly sows. Faith and trust in the source. Can't take what's mine by any force. Angels guard what's meant for me. Power felt for all to see. 121:22. If you want to be able to find this poem, you can find a link for Dee's story time in the description box below as well. And all my poems that are on here are on there. So, definitely, your destiny is something that no one can steal from you. And yes, a lot of times spiritual warfare really does seem like it's working at first. And a lot of times it is working at first until you figure out where it's coming from and you do your protection and your send back to owner or your transmute to good things instead. It depends on the day on whether or not I just send it back or whether or not I transmute it to help me out instead of hindering me. There's been a lot of it this winter that I've had to go through, a lot of it. But at the end of the day, where your faith is placed is a very important thing. Is your faith placed on these people's power or on your power or on the power of your guides, on the power of your gods, whoever they may be? The power of your prayers, your meditation, your rituals. Which power are you giving that faith to? Because that's the one that will grow. And when we get stuck in that rabbit hole of fear, division, hate, hurt, and pain, we're giving our power to things that just are not what we are wanting to manifest into our life. So when you hit those moments, remember to take a minute for prayer, for meditation. Remember to take a minute to call your power back to you and to stop giving it away to everything around you and feeling like everything around you has so much power over you. There's definitely a lot of good things getting ready to come into your life, and a lot of that is because how aligned you are becoming. You are definitely healing yourself, healing your chakras, and healing the energy that is flowing through you so that it is flowing at a continuous state, untouched and untroubled by what is flowing in and out around it. You're feeling confident, stable, and strong in yourself. You're not worried about death so much anymore of yourself or others around you. You're not worried about not having what you need because you know that you will always have what you need. The universe will provide for you. Being confident in yourself and your abilities, being able to express your desires, your wants, your needs, your passions, being able to express yourself sexually or creatively in the ways that you desire to express yourself and not feeling ashamed, guilty, or like it's wrong in some way to be the way that you are. What you like and what you're attracted to and what turns you on, what makes you feel good, all of those different things are parts of yourself. They are parts of yourself that need to be accepted, that need to be loved, And if anybody else isn't accepting them or loving them and wants to make you feel like shit because of them, those people are not the people that are meant to be in your life. When it comes to like sexual things, there's a lot of things that I like that most people would probably be like, oh my God, that is so awful, so horrible. How could you even be that way? Or how could you even do those things? Because those are the things that I enjoy doing. And you know what? At the end of the day, you and me, babe, ain't nothing but mammals. So let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. We are all animals. We are no better than the animals that are around us every day. I've seen elephants painting. Do you think 200 years ago people would have believed elephants can paint? This elephant painted a picture of herself and her baby standing under a tree with the sun in the background. Fucking amazing what animals can do when people aren't going, "Oh, we are the greatest ever," and animals are just dumb beings. Kind of like people when they're talking about babies. And they're like, "Oh, babies can't understand you." Really? That's why my daughter was speaking coherently at a year old and also reading. Because I sat and talked to her on a regular basis, read to her on a regular basis. We also did the Your Baby Can Read program, and let me tell you, it works. When babies are babies, that's when their brain is growing at the most rapid rate it ever will in their lifetime. You have a very strong opportunity to be able to create the most powerful brain there is in that first year or two of life by what you put into it. And if you just believe they're stupid and say that all the time and treat them that way and ignore them and neglect them, that's what you're creating. Although some of those babies become some of the best fucking amazingly smart people ever, and a lot of that is because they had to fight for it every step of the way. So anyway, your willpower and your determination, your hope, your faith, your joy, and your happiness are all things that are really enveloping you at this time. Your ability to be able to give and receive love unconditionally and being able to just go with the flow and allow things to be the way that they are, and still being able to love people even when they fuck up or make mistakes, and still being able to love yourself even when you fuck up and make mistakes. All of those things are things that you have been growing and cultivating within yourself, which is creating a beautiful resonance and is putting out a beautiful energy. And that energy is going to be what's coming back to you. Your ability to be able to speak from the heart, to be able to speak and be vulnerable and open and honest, and to be confident in being that. To trust in your intuition and that voice that you have inside of you. Every animal on this planet. If people weren't so busy going, "Oh, I'm so much better than animals," and "Oh, look at all the things we can do that animals can't," then maybe they would start to realize there's a lot of things that we can do that animals can too, that people have seen as a normal thing for animals for centuries, but still don't believe humans can do. Animals have an intuition. They have a gut instinct. The hair on the back of their neck rises up when there's a threat nearby, just like ours does. All of those little signs, signals, and messages that your body is sending you, you are going to start really feeling fully and listening to completely and having a very strong trust in it. Even when it comes to like the ancestral things and having all those things left to us by our ancestors. If you look at evolution, it's kind of the same theory. When you look at bees and how they know exactly where to go to get the best nectar, exactly what path to take to get there, and how to get back home. A lot of that is ingrained before they're even born. It comes from their ancestors who learned that path and remembered that path, and that path just instantly went down to the other one, even if they weren't around to show them that path. Like birds who fly south for the winter, and they know just when to do it. Doesn't necessarily make sense to us, but some of the things that we're doing might not make sense to everyone else, but that doesn't mean that it isn't real and that it isn't worth following. Also, the messages that you are hearing from your guides are going to be a lot stronger, and you're really going to be able to discern what's coming from them and what isn't. You're going to be feeling so much more in a very peaceful state. And all of this peace is cultivating a lot of abundance and strength around you. There's also going to be some situations as well where you're going to be put into states that you have no idea how you're going to get out of this. It's going to cause you to lean on faith more, pray more, and trust in that prayer and that faith more, especially when they come through to make sure that you get out of this situation, no worse for wear. So all of those things combined together are causing you to align more fully and more forcefully with the path that is yours to take. Sacred beetle armor. You have a mighty shield. Beautiful little worm, take care of yourself. Beauty and the Beast. You need some space in a relationship. So when it comes to any relationship out there as well, like we were discussing earlier, everyone has their dark side. Everyone has their shadow side. Everyone has that beast inside of themselves. And for every beast, there is a beauty. And vice versa, because every beauty has that beast inside them too. So for every beauty, there is also a beast, one that can handle the beasts inside of the beauty. The person that is meant for you is going to be somebody who accepts you, flaws and all. Somebody that you accept, flaws and all. And somebody who also works to try to strengthen themselves and to try to develop their skills and to try to really figure out why they may act in some of the ways they act in a shadow energy, so that they can stop doing the things that hurt the people around them and vice versa. There's going to be a lot of, when it comes to a situation that's meant for you, there's going to be a lot of communication and a lot of being able to compromise, being able to really effectively work as a team, being able to express what is hurting you or what is causing pain in the situation or causing disruption, and being able to discuss those things and work on those things together. Taking care of yourself is something that's going to be very important for you, because that also is what aligns you to that path. It aligns you to being able to call in the things that you need and being able to really create the life that you desire. It makes you feel the best, and you are able to handle situations much better when you're taking care of yourself and loving yourself. Ace of Swords and Temperance. In speaking your truth, you are creating that shield around you. You are creating that boundary around you. Make sure that you still leave room for people to be able to get in. But at the same time, that sort of truth is something that really does need to be wielded. The thoughts and ideas that you have inside of you need to be expressed. The feelings about certain situations and how people are behaving need to be expressed. It also needs to be expressed in a very patient way. And when we first start doing that, if we haven't done it in a long time or never done it, then we really don't know how to do that in a patient way. But that's why we go through all the tumultuous situations that we can, so that we can learn how to do that. When it comes to the Temperance card, in a blacksmith's forge back in the day, which is what the original one is based off of, they would put the sword in the fire and then beat on it, and then they'd put it in the cold water. And then they'd put it in the fire, and then they would beat on it, and then they'd put it in the cold water. And it's like, well, if you're just going to heat it up again, what the fuck was the point of the cold water to begin with? Those extremes of going back and forth like that is what makes the strongest, best, most solid weapon that you can make. So the wisdom and knowledge that you have inside of you is enhanced as you go through all these situations. As you learn how to be able to go with the ups and downs and the ins and outs with a very peaceful, strong, confident, stable energy, even while everything is really up in the air and just messed up and going all crazy, you're still able to maintain that balance and that stability throughout all of it, because of the knowledge and wisdom that you pick up while going through similar situations. That peace, that persistence, that patience, that dedication pays off in the long run. And the words that you have to express can bring a lot of peace as well. So, those words that you have to express are very important, and you may not know how many lives can be changed just by you expressing your truth. But it's amazing the impact it can make when you decide to do that. So make sure that you are expressing your truth. And if you need space in certain situations, don't feel like if you tell somebody, hey, we need some time apart from each other, that's going to be the end of the world. There's ways to do it that are much better than other ways as well. Like when it comes to something happening and people blowing up on each other and then somebody going, well, you know what? I just think we need some space, and then just disappearing. That can really cause a lot of messed up situations, especially for somebody who has dealt with people in the past saying, I need some space, and then just disappearing. I need some space meant I'm breaking up with you. So, that can cause a lot of fear of abandonment or other insecurities that they may be dealing with. And when it comes to somebody going, well, if you need space, then I think we just need to not have a relationship. That strikes up the same things in the other person. But if you're able to go, well, you know what? This is why I said what I said. Because if every time we have a disagreement, you're just going to run away from it instead of being able to stand here and communicate with me, then we don't need to have a relationship. And I wasn't saying it to be cruel or spiteful. I'm just saying it because that's the way it is. If you want to have a relationship, then we need to learn how to communicate things. And yeah, if you need space, that's fine. Take the space you need, but take it in a good way. Don't wait until it's bubbled up to the point where you're going to shit all over everybody and then run away for a few days, But that happens to everybody sometimes, where they get scared and they lash out in negative ways like that. And the ways that we learn to handle situations better is by going through them. So don't be upset with yourself or hate yourself over those things, and don't be upset or hate others over those things either. 88 is on the screen right now. All this work that you have put in to develop these skills, to develop this knowledge, to develop this wisdom, to really be able to express yourself in a very good way and to communicate much better, all of these things are going to pay off so much for you. And it's getting ready to pay off right now, and to show you that all your hard work was not for nothing. All your hard work meant something. So that is what I have for our collective reading today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I really enjoyed being here, and I enjoyed interacting with you guys a lot. Once again, if anybody wants to be able to support my channel, there's many things that you can do to do that. If you guys enjoyed the poetry, you can find a link for Dee's StoryTime in the description box below. If you guys, and liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing over there really helps me out. Liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing over here really helps me out. Leaving timestamps on my other videos, or donating, purchasing services, or hitting the super thanks button, leaving super chat stickers, all that stuff really helps out so much. Thank you guys so much for all the support you send this way, and I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.